Why is this being done? To protect women. Women are so valuable, you can't even say a bad word against them. In Islam, a husband has no right in beating his wife. He has no right in saying something about her face, commenting on her face in a negative side. In Islam, it's completely forbidden for me to go to my wife and say, you have an ugly face, even if we're fighting. It's un-Islamic, it's a sin. I cannot beat her, I cannot insult her. The Prophet tells us, alayhi salatu wasalam, that a lot of women passed by my wives yesterday, complaining of their husbands beating them. By Allah, they are not among the best of you. These men are not among the best of you. They are among the worst of you. And that is why the Prophet said, the best of you to their wives are the best of the Muslims. And I am the best of the Muslims. So the more you are good, tolerant, forgiving, kind, loving, caring to your missus, to your wife, the better Muslim you are. And Islam relieved women from a lot of responsibilities by putting these responsibilities on the shoulder of men. For example, women are not obliged to provide for the family. A woman, it's not her responsibility to work. It's not her responsibility to help her husband financially. Not only that, even if she was a multimillionaire and her husband was struggling to make ends meet, Islam tells her you are not obliged to pay 1 penny. He has to buy you the dresses. He has to buy you the perfume. He has to send you flowers if he wants to do that. You are not financially by any chance or case obliged to do any of this. Allah Azza wa Jal is protecting women. So Allah Azza wa Jal tells them that pray in your houses. You don't have to pray Jum'ah. You don't have to pray mandatory prayers in the masjid. This is an obligation only on men. So this is for their protection. They're not requested to go and defend the country, to give jihad. There are our precious stone. They should stay at home. We protect them. Some would say, okay, akhi, my wife is much stronger than me. She has black belt in jiu-jitsu. She always beats the hell out of me. Let her go and defend. No. She Islamically has to sit home and be honored and respected. It is a mistake, common mistake, when you have these forms that women fill. Name, surname, family name, and then working woman or a housewife. This is wrong. The best of working women is a housewife. If you're working in a job, usually you're working from 9 to 5, correct? A housewife, a mother, she works 24 hours, 7 days a week. If you work on a job, if you have to come for a meeting or for a dinner meeting from 7 to 9 p.m., you get overtime. A housewife, a mother, does not get this overtime. She wakes up at 1 o'clock to change her diapers. She wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning to feed the child. She does this. So she is 24/7 working, assisting, and she is being rewarded for every second that passes. A woman in Islam, she's either a mother, a daughter, or a wife. And each one has its own God-given right. The Prophet ﷺ was approached by a man, O Prophet of Allah, which one of my parents I should go out of my way to do good things and to obey and respect? The Prophet says, your mother. And then he said, okay, who's next? And he says, your mother. And he says, who's next? The Prophet says, your mother. And he says, who's next? Then he said, your father. So 75% of your obedience and respect and compassion and love and care should be devoted to your mother. Unfortunately, this is not the case. Whenever I come back from Fajr prayer, I wake up my wife, if she's not awake, and I tell her to go and wake up the children. And she goes and spends half an hour waking them up. I can hear her shouting, screaming, jumping, hanging at the chandelier, dropping, doing whatever she can to wake the children. And no soul is moving. And the minute I come and I say, wake up, everybody's awake. And she says, why don't you relieve me from this duty? Because they listen to you and they do not listen to me. And I said, because you did not upbring them correctly. They should have this respect, this love, this care for you more than they do for me. But because the mother is more loving, caring, merciful than the father, they usually are taking it for granted. They're intimidated by the father but not by the mother. And this is not the Islamic way. As for the girl, the daughter of yours has more responsibility than the boys. And that is why the Prophet ﷺ told us about the great reward of having girls. Those who have girls are blessed. Before Arabia, in the old times of Arabia, before Islam, those who have girls are doomed. That's why they want out of shame. Boys can go out and play, and at the end of the day they repent, they prolong their beard and shorten their thobe, they become good Muslims. But when girls go and fool around, the glass once broken is very difficult to be amended and fixed. So by nature, people think that, girls must be protected. But they may bring shame. They may bring a sorrow to us. So let's kill them. That's what they used to think in Arabia. Islam came, changed this completely. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, only on girls, not on boys. Whoever is tested by Allah Azza wa Jal with these girls, but he upbrings them in an Islamic way, there will be a shield for him from hell. In another narration, they will take him into paradise. So that's why Muslims, when they are blessed with girls, they feel happy. And they feel content because, alhamdulillah, they have means of getting to paradise other than the normal means. As for the missus, it's already time? Okay. As for the wife, it is, it goes without saying. In Islam, those who are kind to their wives, they're the best of Muslims. And that is why the Prophet ﷺ was the best of men to his wives. The Prophet tells us ﷺ that this world is transient comforts, and the best of it is what? A righteous wife. This is the best thing on earth. A righteous wife. The Prophet tells us a woman is usually married or sought after for her beauty, for her lineage, for her wealth, and for her religion commitment. The Prophet says, take the one with the religious commitment, may your dust be, may your hands be dusted. As if you're holding dust if you refuse to do this, or may you prosper as in other interpretations. If you take the one with the religious commitment, this means that inshallah you will prosper. You will prosper. However, this does not mean that you choose someone who's religiously practicing and ugly. If you can choose someone who is religiously practicing and beautiful, mashallah. And if she comes from a good family, subhanallah. And if she's wealthy, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Usually, this is only found in paradise. But you cannot give up. Keep on looking, and inshallah, Allah will bring you. And as long as we're talking about marriage, and marrying the one with the religious commitment, does the father have the right and ability to give his daughter in marriage without her consent? No. It's a misconception among the Muslims. They say, yes, he's the father, he can do this. A lot of the sisters email me, telling me that my father is forcing me to marry my cousin. My father is forcing me to marry someone from my own sect, from my own country. I live in the UK, and my father is forcing me to marry someone from our country so that he comes in and takes the visa, and then he gets the nationalship, the citizenship. And so they ask, and I say, this is haram. It is your God-given right to stop and say no. She says, you have to stop your father from forcing you to do something you will regret for the rest of your life. This is an Islamic obligation. Okay, if you're okay with the man, it's okay, alhamdulillah. But if you're not, do not agree. A woman came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, "O Prophet of Allah, my father gave me to his cousin or to his nephew in marriage without seeking my permission or consent." And the Prophet ﷺ revoked that marriage. He said, he has no right, you can separate from him. She said, no, I would like to stay with him, but I just wanted to make a point, so that the women after me know that they have the right to object and to reject such a marriage. So a girl or a daughter is not something that you sell, is not something that you put for auction. She is a human being, and she has to have a say in the most important thing in her life, which is her marriage. Yet in Islam, she's protected by two means. Her father cannot give her in marriage without her consent, and she cannot marry someone without her father's consent, because both approvals should be prior. Okay, the most honorable woman. Now let me rephrase that. Can you edit that? Okay. The most important role for a woman is being a wife and a mother. And this doesn't mean, because now if I were in my daughter's shoes, or of my wife's shoes, they wouldn't have any problem with homosexuality. No, this is rephrasing it. If I were in my daughter's shoes, what would I say? You're telling me, Father, and sometimes my daughters claim this, you're saying that the best role is to be a mother or a what? Or a wife. But we have high aspiration. We would like to work. We would like to do this. We would like to travel. We would like to do so many things. And I say, okay, no problem, as long as it is within the Islamic limitations. But what is more fruitful for you as an individual? To stay and raise a family of imams, of scholars, of so many beneficial people to the society, to be the wife of a man who does so many great things for the society, and you're honored, you don't have to work, you don't have to suffer, and Allah Azza wa Jalla is rewarding you by Jannah. If you look at the list of the things that women have to do in Islam, to us it's very easy. The Prophet says, if a woman fasts her month, Ramadan, and she prays the 5 daily prayers, like us, fasting like men, fasting and praying, and she preserves her chastity, like men, presumably, men a little bit, yani. And finally, she obeys her husband. 4 things. What happens? The Prophet said, she'll enter Jannah. She'll enter paradise. The men say, Ya akhi, I'd rather be a woman. I have to pray 5 times a day in the masjid. I have to provide for my family. I have to smile in my boss's face when I just want to smack him in the face. I have to tolerate my neighbors. I have to go and do this with the car or the garage. So many things to do, and the women have only these things. As if they were easier. It's not. I know. It is one of the most difficult things for a wife to be tolerant and obedient and loving to a husband that does not shower except once every couple of months, and whose mouth smell is as rotten as your socks, and who does not care of how his hygiene and how he looks, and subhanallah, the minute he enters the house, he becomes crippled, paralyzed. He sits on the couch, he's got the remote controls in his hand. Bring me a glass of water, bring the ice cream, make some popcorn, do this, do that, mashallah.